Hello, welcome back to my channel. Antoinette here. I'm going to do the walkthrough of the Seasons of the Witch Mabon Oracle by Lorraine Anderson, Juliet Diaz, and the new illustrator Chiana Lukovic, possibly. So, oh yeah, wait. It's a Rockpool trading set of decks. So it's a series of the Seasons of the Wheel. Seasons of the Wheel? Is that right? No. Wheel of the Year for the Seasons of the Witch. There we go. And this is the fourth or fifth in the series that's been released. I'm not sure because it feels like they've been around forever. And it's either the fact that I've had to wait so long to get, like you have to wait so long in between from announcement, pre-order to receiving, or I'm just feeling like it's been going on for a while. And these are all developed the same. I think they're all 44 cards. This is for Mabon, but I have to say, I don't follow the Wheel of the Year and the Seasons of the Witch per se. However, this deck is absolutely delightful. So it comes in an orange box. And what I've done is I've got the boxes to show because some of them feel thicker than others. So I only own 3 now. I got rid of the Yule one, couldn't stand it. The Beltane one is hanging on by its teeth just because I celebrate May Day and Maple dancing and crowning of the May Queen and have done ever since I was a child. It's been part of the town's kind of festivities. But as you can see, this one's a thinner box slightly than this one, and I think this one and this one are almost the same thickness. There's a very, very slight difference in thickness. So that isn't the cards, that is down to the content of the book, I've discovered. So that you can just a very, very, very minor step between them all. And I think the Yule deck is that size, this size box. But this is my all-time favourite, and I think this is going to be a close second, and then we'll see if this one manages to remain in my collection. Because I'm getting, good at wheeling them out. So there's the box, there's the book. That's me going on about stuff for absolutely no reason whatsoever. Here's the book. It's a nice chunky one, so let me just compare that to... So it's not as big as the Halloween deck, but it's not bad. So that's the difference. That is the difference in the decks, is this book. And there's the one for Beltane. So that you can tell instantly that there's just not as much information in them. The binding's different as well, but I don't think that changes the amount of information in the books. I don't think that makes any difference. To being smaller bindings, it might make a difference to the quality, I'm not sure, but we'll find out over time. So yeah. Any other differences in the decks? The gilding. So this new Mabon deck comes with these beautiful orange crow backs, like an orange tint to them. They're all glossy cardstock, and it has this lovely orange. Didn't really notice that when I took the paper off. Got a very tiny bit of damage to the gilding there, and I do notice that when they come in these boxes there's damage on the bottoms of the gilding. That's going to pick up, but there's slightly scuff always on one of the corners or the base from, I don't know if that's just from how they've been stacked in the box or what, but it's interesting that happens. But this is this gorgeous kind of orange colour, whereas the Halloween one is that amazing red. It's got the same there, it's got some wear on the corners. But the gilding, considering how much this one's been used, has held up really well. And the old Beltane one is gold. The Yule one was green. I think the Imbolc one is silver, I think. Or like a very pale blue, but I want to say silver. So they're all the same, as I said, same cardstock, same style, same quality, just slightly different artists now. And then, of course, the books vary in how much information is in the books, depending on what the cards are. So see if there's anything in here about Mabon. Will you look at that beautiful card in front of you? These cards were crafted with Mabon's energy in mind, but the magic does not start and end with the Mabon season. Seasons of the Witch Mabon Oracle functions in the same way as any other Oracle deck. The themes represented by these cards will be most apparent during the Mabon season. There is always room to practice healthy boundaries, evaluate your progress, seek balance, make room for more self-care. Each person experiences energetic cycles in different ways, and there is no right or wrong time to work with this deck. Some natural times to work with this deck outside of Mabon include when you're feeling stagnant or out of alignment, to gain better understanding of where you're going, for evaluating toxic relationships, for working specifically with any of the animals or herbs in the deck, when you want to experience peace of mind or more calmness in your life, for seeking balance, or for support in letting go of what no longer serves you. Besides working with Mabon as an Oracle deck, there are some additional ways in which you can use these cards, which are listed below. So using them for daily guidance cards, daily reflection cards, intention cards, and altar cards. So that's nice to have in there. Mabon themes and areas of focus: agriculture, ancestral healing, balance, transitions, concentration, endings and mornings, goals and accomplishments, gratitude, grounding, healing and self-care, planning and preparation, sharing and wisdom. So let's have a look. And this is my favourite card. So cool. So very witchy and Halloween. Do you know what I mean? That this is why I think it's going to go with the Halloween deck beautifully. So my aesthetic. Apple of my eye. Like apple bobbing. I just like the darkness. Oh, it's giving me all those like lovely wintry vibes by the fire. Warmth, stitching, colouring, sticking, journaling, drawing, all those things. You have the autumn equinox. I love the way that we have it coming from the two halves of the year, the way it's been split there to match the word equinox. Breathwork. So mad witch out underneath the moon, dancing, letting her hair flow freely. This one I've talked about, that feeling of that hot mug of cocoa on a cold day, when the wind's blowing and it's raining and haily outside and you're sat indoors and you've got a nice homemade warm cup by the fire. Campfires, telling stories. The coming of darkness. And that right there in the picture, isn't it? Creating, it looks like this person's actually creating fire cider or something. And then here's the other person coming in with the logs from the outside, ready to stoke the fire and close the door and let the night come and be warm and cozy. Corner maze. Although your path is unclear, it is there waiting for you, for your faith to lead you. So here we have the coven. And to me, that word could relate to anything. So a coven doesn't just have to be the coven of witches. The coven could be your family, your friendships, your circles, your wherever your close spaces, the people, the places, the animals that you turn to for your solace, respite, knowledge, help. Here we have cranberries, and that's the other thing I like about this, is the fact that it has foods and things in as well. Crow, gorgeous card. Pay attention to the winds. There's a message making its way. Yeah, absolutely. The winds do bring weird things in on them, but I still haven't worked out how to hear the wind, if that makes sense to anyone out there listening. If you have tips on that, please drop it in below, because I've been trying to work out how to understand the wind and how to know what direction it's blowing in or out of. Darkness falls. Look at the eyes. Within you live the hidden, the things that want nothing more than to swallow you whole. So, being aware of what's going on, your emotional inner turmoils and torments. Elderberries. Oh, she's making elderberry syrup. I love the little mushrooms peeking out there of her pockets. And we have falling leaves. The fawn. Fire cider, and I know there's a recipe in the book for fire cider, because that was in my June 2023 reflections. Foraging. Here we have the ghost whisperer. Be still in the whispers that ebb and flow through the silence. So paying attention and listening. And look, we even have, so in amongst this kind of incense smoke going up, look, it's whispering what spirits, wisdom. Love that. Just the attention to detail, the thought behind the finer aspects. And we have grieving. The chambers of your mourning are surrounded by nothingness, emptiness, and willing to be seen, waiting to be seen. Our harvest moon. And we have these eyes popping out in like lots of parts of the deck. Our harvest witch. Haunted house. That's true, isn't it? Things that haunt you are the things that you have to let go of. Kitchen witchery. Look at this. The abundance flows easily and effortlessly into your life, be in gratitude. And they say that, don't they? People who love to cook and create and bake, they always say they bake from the heart. And if they can't bake from the heart, or their heart is full, or they can't, tap into that, then they don't bake. They lose their creativity in the kitchen. And that's people that don't even know about kitchen witchery, which I find a fascinating subject, that people, tap into their love and they create from their heart. And they know they're doing that, but their reasons behind it, they're less sure of. It just goes to show the magic flows in everyone, whether you are specifically seeking your path or it's just intuitively natural to you. We have our mead wine, followed on by molasses. Mountain cabin. We all like a little cabin to go to. And then we have our peppers. So be fierce about the ways in which you protect yourself. Allies await. And these are, I don't know if when this one says peppers, whether peppers are being referred to in here as chili peppers or salad peppers, bell peppers, sweet peppers, those types of peppers. I know what I mean, but I'm just suddenly aware as I'm saying it out loud that different parts of the world are going to call peppers different things, refer to them in different ways. And I'm not referring to hot ones, I'm referring to the ones that you slice up cold and you just chuck over your salad, ones that kids will eat, not ones that come in any way, shape or form for spice to, blow your heads off. Like Scotch bonnets and things, not those. Pomegranates. I do love pomegranates. Dare to taste the unknown. Let it seduce your spirit awake. I've got that hand from Pan's Labyrinth, with the eye in the hand. Pumpkin spice and apple cider. Sounds interesting. Queen of the dead. Fear not the rage of the fire living within, for it's the power of your fierceness waiting to taste you fully. Oh, that's intriguing. Can't wait to look that one up in a book. Maybe I'll just do that. For the birth of something new, to manifest the death of something holding you back is inevitable. Very true. Here's our root vegetables, reminding us. Scarecrow. That sort of reminds me of the cornfields one. Shape-shifting. Transformation is not the loss of what once was. It is the evolution of more powerful self. Nice to have shape-shifting in a positive format and not, something's chasing you. St. John's wort and marigold. Brilliant colours. And we have straw bale. It's time to step out of your comfort zone, take up space and reach new heights. So straw bales for me is around harvest season, and that's the farmer always harvests around the same time based by the moons in and around Plymouth. And I used to live the farm backed onto the back of my house. And I used to every year watch him gather up and roll up his bales and leave them out in the fields to dry. And that's when I knew that we had the winter coming, because it was the last thing he did before the cold weather's changed, the seasons changed. Here we have tea magic, and I know that there's a tea recipe that goes with this one. Toad. So observe for those who watch, see all. And we have our tobacco. Don't smoke, but we are feeding your ancestors, raise a sacred smoke for them. So you could just use that in, you don't have to do that and destroy your lungs, people. You could pop that into some incense. Or have a candle. What do I have? This one is absolutely gorgeous. Warm tobacco pipe. It's absolutely gorgeous. Love it. That kind of reminds me of my granddad when he used to smoke pipes. Whiskey. Life should be sipped slowly with intention. Be patient as the vision reveals itself, rather than getting hammered. Witches gathering, or harvest gathering, harvest festival, all those things. Celebration. Craft your skills with intentions for the witch's rosary. I like that one. And then the last one is wool. That has that real full-on autumnal vibes coming in there, doesn't it? With the, kind of sat by the window. There's a hot mug, there's a kettle, we've got the candles going, pumpkins. I mean, that's got everything there that's kind of warm and cozy. And the day that you want to sit and do your crafting. Yeah. So like I said, I am actually thoroughly impressed with this deck. It impressed me beyond my expectations. And then let's have a look at this one. So number 31, Queen of the Dead. Okay, so there's not too much written on it. It says, embracing your dark side, naughtiness, using darkness for good. Okay, that's interesting. Your higher self chose this card because you need to learn to be unafraid of your soul's darker, naughtier side. Oh, okay, so a bit like your shadow self. There is a deeper power within you that you may feel would be scary or too much to handle if you unleashed it. Perhaps you fear that you might become what you might become if you were seduced by the shadowy aspects of your spirit. Would you become too ambitious, too power hungry, or sacrifice your beliefs in pursuit of fame and fortune? Would you hurt people or forget your roots? That leads me into, do you know how to recognize that side of yourself, allow it to live, but without it taking over? Is what the question's instantly like coming out of my mouth before I could even, focus and word it. Would you succumb to anger and find yourself difficult to get along with? These are all noteworthy fears, but they shouldn't prevent you from integrating both sides of your spiritual being. Queen of the Dead is tempting you to explore and use darkness for good. Rage, ambition, jealousy, manipulation can be channeled for a good cause rather than viewing them as bad. See them as opportunities for evolution and growth. These energies to be useful in your willingness to work with rather than against your demons is key for showing them the way to the light. So there we go, that's that one. I will shuffle the same as any other deck that I have from this set. I just want to see what it looks like next to the Samhain. My ultimate plan was to shuffle these two decks together into one and have a nice big deck. But I just wanted to compare the art styles because these are two different artists. So we have Giada Rose and Tiana Lukovic. Hopefully you can see that. I don't know why they make the illustrators' names so tiny. I mean, that's ridiculous, isn't it? But yeah, so the healer with fire cider, they do go together. So it's a pairings, they seem to pair. Broom with autumn equinox, so sweeping out with the new coming in. Voices with apple of my eye. But you can see, I think, here with the messages, so the voices, the bottom we have with a tug at the gut. With a tug at the gut, feel them romance. With a tug, what? With a tug at the gut, feel them romance your very breath. Okay. Listen to the gentle flickering within your eyes, for this is where they guide. And over here we've got apple of my eye. Not all that's alluring may be what it seems. See beyond the illusion. They do sort of go, but I prefer the messages as they come through here to here. If they reworded this one, I would buy this one reworded. Definitely. Because this one I have to work more with the guidebook. We have witch with kitchen witchery. Potions and spells with apothecary. What do you think? I think maybe I don't put them together and keep them separately and run them together as a paired deck. Set of paired decks, married decks, whatever we call them, bonded pairs. Reflection with cacao. So in our reflection, you are loved, you are held, and you're already everything you seek. Underworld with corn maze, allowing your faith to lead you. Nature spirits and coming of darkness. The cauldron with the campfire. Perfect place to have a cauldron. Elders with mead wine. That goes really well. The altar with the crow. Yeah, I like this. I like this. I'm going to throw this one on the end just for good measure, just so I haven't kind of, missed one out. But I don't know if it's going to do what I want it to do, because it might just be too colourful. Greet the darkness with the harvest witch, but then we have a goddess. Maybe. Oh no, they do actually. We've got ritual, harvest moon, and chant. So I shouldn't be so quick to diss this one. Oops. Here's our bat. Invoking the power and fear not hidden. What lurks is coming, undenying change with our wool and our rowan. So creating, we've got people here hiding in the boughs of the tree, so seeking refuge. And this one to me is seeking refuge. So, but you can see that the art style is very much different. Here's our candle magic with the reaper. They make sense. But then we have the oracle. Mischief with our cranberries and flower crown, but cranberries and flower crown definitely go. So it does, this one is bridging the gap then between Beltane and Halloween in its palette and appearance. But what we can see, so we've gone from this less weird, willowy, ghostly looking figures to kind of more healthy figures. And then we have, again, I think this one has, is it more diversity in it again to this one? I know there's diversity in this one. I think this one has more diversity. This one to me is just like weird looking, weirded out, ghosty figures. But I think people felt that it was missing a bit more diversity, like this one is perhaps showing. We have crystals and herbs, toad and fertilizing. Yeah, because I've got like elders. We have the flowing hair. All Hallows Eve with the falling leaves and the cow. Or the orgasm. I'm going to put those ones away because I want to end on those two, because I think that's brilliant. All Hallows Eve with the falling leaves. There we go. I'm going to stop there with my Mabon Season of the Witch Oracle. I hope you enjoyed that. And let me know what you think. How are you getting on with all in the series? Which ones have you kept? Which ones have you got rid of? Which ones are you waiting for? And I think I'm right in thinking the in bulk is on pre-order. It's not been released. I keep thinking it's already been released, but I don't think it has been. I think it's on pre-order. So how many of you are on pre-order for that, and what are you expecting from it? But yeah, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Take care. Bye-bye.